Broadcasting live from the Business Radio X studios in Atlanta, Georgia, it's time for Atlanta Business Radio, spotlighting the city's best businesses and the people who lead them.
Lee Cantor here with Sanjay Torre, another episode of Atlanta Business Radio, and this is my favorite episode we do every month. It is the Women in Technology special episode, and it's been Women's Week here at Business Radio X, hasn't it,
Yeah,
Sanjay?
a lot of female guests coming in.
That's it. Yesterday we had the folks from Close Her, an organization that helps women in sales kind of get together, network, and learn from each other, and today we got the Women in Technology folks.
I'm so excited to speak to you guys and I'll hear about all the great things you do.
All right, so let's kick it off. We got Penny Collins, the new CEO of WIT, and Patty Dismukes, a longtime board member and super fan of the organization, right? You were around before it was cool.
Yep. I was WIT before it was cool.
So, Patty, let's start with you and talk a little bit about WIT and what you guys got going on.
Yeah, so, as always, there's so much going on with WIT. We're very excited about our upcoming WIT Connect event, which is our largest fundraising event. And we'll share a lot more about that in a few minutes. But we're so excited now that we've got a new president and CEO of WIT, Penny Collins. And as a WIT board member, we're very excited to be going to the next chapter. We've been built with the leadership of great women for the last 26 years. And I think the thing we've always done is up our game in bringing in great leaders. And so when we put the search out for a president and CEO of WIT, we had something very specific in mind in that we wanted someone who was passionate, had that executive presence, and someone who was going to help us get the message and expand our message. So the most important thing and exciting thing we have going right now is our roadshow introducing Penny Collins, the new leader of WIT. So very happy that she's part of our group.
All right. Welcome, Penny.
Thank you.
Now, let's talk about your background a little. You came from a more traditional corporate background, not a nonprofit.
Correct.
Right? So what was the thinking there in the transition?
Yeah. It's interesting because my background is very much corporate America. I did a little bit of nonprofit here and there, but not, of course, to the magnitude that I'm doing now. But I've always been passionate about the mission of women in technology. And actually, I was a partner of theirs while I was at First Data. So I would partner with WIT to look at, how can we give back within the company that I worked for? And also, what can we do to help the women in technology at First Data? So I was very passionate about what are the challenges? How can we help these women overcome some of the challenges that they're experiencing every single day while they're working in a male-dominated industry? So with that passion, naturally, it was a perfect fit for me to then move into women in technology and continue on with my passion and driving whatever changes I can help drive.
Now, as a technologist in your career, as a woman in technology, kind of living this, what were some of the things that you were experiencing that you were like, there has to be kind of a better way? Like, I can't be the only one that feels this way or experiencing this.
Oh, goodness, yes. So many thoughts about this. It's interesting because in all of the companies that I've worked with, when you look around the leadership table, you don't see a lot of women. Of course, everyone understands the problem. But the question and the challenge is, how do you fix it? How do you fix it? Now, we are making progress with our younger girls that are in middle school. We're making great progress with girls that are in college. We're seeing an uptick of how many girls are staying within STEAM-related fields in college. But the question becomes, how do we help women who are in their careers stay in that career and that they feel empowered, that they feel supported, and they know how to move ahead? So the challenges I saw were more around confidence. Are we good enough to sit around the table? Do we know enough to sit around the table? Of course we do. But it's the confidence to know that you know what you know and to use that and to challenge the status quo. But the interesting thing, too, is women have this tendency, in my belief is women have the tendency that they have to be perfect in everything, that they've got to be the rock stars and the best at the best, or they don't think they're good enough. Where we actually could learn a lot from, the males that you guys don't always feel that way. You're confident just in what you know and your capabilities and what you are able to execute. And that's what we have to try to help women understand, is embrace what they know, but understand and embrace what they don't know. And what you don't know is work on those areas.
And then what WIT does is give women a place, kind of a safe place, where they can ask questions maybe and ask advice of people that are in the chair that they'd like to be in. Right, and it's important for the people that have achieved to really kind of reach down and help the ones below them, right? It has to be kind of the symbiotic relationship. It can't just be like, oh, I made it. Well, good luck to you. You know, it was hard, you know, and I battled, but I made it, right? There has to be that kind of give and take, and that's what the organization fosters.
And that's what I love. That is the piece that I love, is that Women in Technology organization gives us a platform to have those conversations. And some of those conversations are not comfortable. Sometimes they challenge women to be disruptive in their own careers and in their own lives, but it influences change. And it helps women feel that they are supported. And here's another thing to think about too, is women in technology, it is and can be a very lonely place to be, because there's not a lot of people that you can connect with and synergize with and collaborate with. And so that's what Women in Technology does, is we bring these women together so they can collaborate and they can learn from each other. And we can learn from those that are above us to say, how did you overcome this? Teach me. Teach me how to do it. Teach me the skills I need to learn so that I can embrace it and move on.
And there's a lot of times in a career, and any male or female, doesn't matter, there's these kind of forks in the road where you get this kind of point, this inflection point where you're like, am I good enough? My boss just yelled at me. I couldn't do this. Am I good enough? Like, you have these points where you're like, you know, should I just bail on technology at all? Should I go a different direction? Right? You have these kind of pivotal moments, and if you don't have an ally or somebody there that's been there, done that, it's easy to quit, right? And that's what this organization fosters, is those places where you can get that. Just go send the email. You're going to be okay. This one didn't work out, but there's tomorrow, and you are good enough. Like, you need that. You know,
what's interesting is that I think a lot of times what I've noticed with the many companies and the women that I've been talking to, it is that women are very hard on ourselves. So when we do fail, I put quotes up, what we believe is a failure, sometimes we don't know how to fail fast. We don't know how to fail fast, learn, get over it.
Forgive yourself.
Right. Move on.
Right.
Just move on and take it as a learning, and just don't do it the next time.
Right.
But we harp on it. We just kind of were consumed with the mistake that we made, and that we're not perfect. And that's something that we've got to culturally change. It is okay that we make mistakes. It's okay that we're not perfect. And it's okay that we can't do everything. Right. I mean, half the things I do, I outsource. You know, I get groceries, delivered to my house. Right. I mean, you can't do it all. And that's what we're trying to teach women. It's okay. It's okay that you can't do it all.
And are you teaching the younger girls that are in middle school and college and high school that? Like, do you have some sort of a mentorship program that is basically teaching them what you can learn from, that you're not perfect? Do you have something like that in line?
And that is the beauty of what we also do. Because as we're learning it and as we're growing, and women in the professional careers right now, we are giving back and going to the college girls and the girls in middle school, and we're teaching them the principles that we had to learn the hard way. We want to help them. Yeah. We don't want them to go through the hard paths that we're going through now. And that is why it's so important for women in technology to really understand the women challenges today, so that we can understand it, learn, grow, and then teach the younger generation. And that's exactly what we do.
I love that.
Now, since you've been part of WIT for a while, and you were looking at it kind of from the partnership from the corporate enterprise level, and this is how I'm going to leverage WIT and take advantage of WIT, and now your seat is a little different, right? Now I have to grow WIT and I have to serve WIT. What's your vision kind of moving forward?
I believe the foundation is so good. The foundation and the fundamental principles.
Right. The mission is so pure, right?
The mission is so pure. So it becomes, we're doing such a great job with the girls program, and that is our middle school girls. We're doing fantastic with Rachel leading the way for our campus, our college girls. What I want to focus on this coming year is really on the women. What can we do to further support the women that are already in their careers? And it may not necessarily be women that are in transition or going through, trying to make another move, but really about how do we help women to feel more confident in their current roles so that they can feel confident to teach other girls and mentor them. But the key thing is around, what I keep hearing from some of these people I talk to is about feeling confident, feeling enabled, understanding how to negotiate. Like, how do we negotiate for ourselves? How do we feel comfortable knowing that we're good enough to say, I need a bigger salary. I deserve more. But the key thing is, we got to make sure that they are capable of what they're doing. So if you're going to ask for more money, you need to be sure that you're doing the job that you need to do. So it goes both ways. And when you are delivering and executing as your leadership wants you to, then you should be confident to go forward and ask for more money or for what you deserve. And that's what I want to do, is teach women how to learn from each other. But the also thing is, I think we need to start having some of the difficult conversations around, what is holding us back? Maybe it's more that we're not actually tapping into. So we need to have more discussions with men and women so we can learn across the board and start changing behaviors and really starting to change the dynamics.
It's much deeper, huh?
It's deeper. It really is deeper.
Now, recently I heard a statistic, and you probably would know this better than I would, that of women-owned firms, only like 2% make it to the $1 million level. And there's some work being done here in a lot of incubators that are women-focused organizations and groups that are trying to change some of that. Is that kind of on the roadmap as well? Or are you only targeting the larger technology firms?
Well, right. But technology is in everything. Right. So it really is every business, because technology is embedded in everything that we do today. So yes, it is. But here's an interesting statistic. Do you realize that only 20% of nonprofits are actually being led by a woman?
Really?
Mm-hmm. So I think that's very interesting too, because you would think more nonprofits would be led by women, right? But no, only 20% are led by women. So I think that's an interesting thing to think about as well.
Right. So there's a lot of work to be done, a lot of things on your plate now. So how do you kind of reframe your days? Like, because when you were working for this large enterprise, a day looked a certain way, and now there's a lot of blank slate ahead of you, right? There's a lot of places you can go, and how are you prioritizing kind of where to go and at what speed? Everything all the time, right? Everything all the time.
Right. And I love it, and it's dynamic, and it's energizing. Yeah. Right now, as Patty mentioned at the very beginning, I'm doing my roadshow. I'm really wanting to get to know who our existing partners and sponsors are, understand what their needs are, and how WIT can further support and help them. Because there is a specialized, we have a general view of what we believe the challenges are, but every company is different, and every company has a different challenge. And we want to go in there and understand the individual challenges so we can help them to change the culture or help them with the mentorship and the give back programs that they want to have. But also, there's a lot of companies out there that are asking us to help them. So it's also reaching out to the ones that are not our current partners and sponsors and seeing how we can also help them. But in addition, it's continuing with our big events. Our big one, which is coming up June 20th, which is our WIT Connect event, which is a wonderful evening of, having dinner with a bunch of wonderful executives. We have about a room of about 800 people that show up, and it's a night of giving. It's a night of showing what WIT has done over the past year with the money that people have entrusted us with. And it's about giving scholarships. We give over $120,000 in scholarships. Wow. To college girls and high schools. So it's our way to show, this is what you've done. This is what you've enabled us to do, and we've done this together. And they see the impact to these girls and to the women that they've actually touched. And so that is the big event that we're actually working on as well.
Now, from a partner-sponsor standpoint, can you explain why a company who isn't a partner or sponsor should be one?
Everyone has women in their group. Some have a lot, some don't have a lot. But even if there is this is the thing that I'm also learning, is a lot of companies are really seeing the value of having a diverse and inclusive organization. They see what the diverse workforce brings to their innovation. It brings to their table. It brings to problem solving. And so a lot more companies want the diverse workforce. Yeah. And that's where WIT can help them. We've got experience. We've got expertise with all of the women leaders that are part of our network that can be there to help them and guide them to be where they are right now. And so that's why I think partners that are out there, potential partners, the value is not only does it enable us to help you to grow the women in your group, we could actually bring the young talent also. There's a lot of young talent that are part of our membership. They are incredible young ladies they just blow me away. They're brilliant girls that are in cybersecurity, they're in application development, they're in data analytics that could add value to any company. And that's what we want to do, is bring our world and their world together so we can help each other.
And then the way it works, though, it's very collaborative, right? Because every organization has different needs, and the way that they want to work with your group can be kind of customized to whatever the outcome they desire, right?
Exactly. So I met with someone yesterday, a great company, Veristore, and they are very passionate about what they can do to help their existing women. And they're taking like a 3 different tiered approach to how to partner with WIT. Yeah. One is to look at getting to our monthly forums so that they can help grow the women that they already have there. They want to also do WIT Campus, where they can bring a whole bunch of girls to their company and do workshops and teach them about technology. But they also want to go to WIT Connect so that they can also give back. So yes, it's a partnership based on, and we work with the companies to help them with what they need and grow where they need to grow.
And that's what you're looking to have more conversations, right, with existing and new. And like you said, technology is pretty broad. That touches every industry.
Exactly. And every single dime we get goes back towards the program. Mm-hmm. It is absolutely to continue this great mission that we actually have.
So now, Patty, how excited are you?
Well, we're very excited, obviously, to have someone of Penny's caliber, to have someone who's been in the C-suite, to be able to come and lead this organization. It was just our dream. And, we had an incredible group of women we were talking to in this search, but Penny continually, was top. And the fact that we got her, and with her passion and excitement, we're so excited for what the future holds. I think the thing that Penny's doing right now is so unique for a nonprofit. We're not going and just asking for money. We're asking clients, what can we do for you?
Serving. How
do
we
we serve you?
Right.
Yeah.
Because right now, every company in town is worrying about their workforce. How do I attract the brightest, the smartest, the best? Mm-hmm. And you can't do that unless they have access to you and they can see what you do. And we give a platform for that, for young girls to be able to go into companies and actually understand what they do. Because some of these companies have been around for a long time, and you already have a preconceived idea of what they do, yet you don't understand some of the incredible things they're doing in technology that are just, cutting edge. We're a vehicle for that. And so I think Penny is just going to be great with helping us get that bridge between the people we serve and the companies who help us be able to serve them, because we want to give back to them too, because they're so generous with us.
Well, being a long-time WIT person, how have you seen the organization evolve? It must be just mind-blowing from where you started and the dreams of what could be to where you're at now. It's an amazing story.
It truly is. And I think that, to me, the market, I always believe if you're going to be relevant, you have to understand the market you serve. And so, and the IT market changes. I mean, dynamics and companies change every 18 months. WIT had to change with them along the way, and that's why we're still here. How many nonprofits do you know that have been around as long as we have, right? We have been around because we realized we always wanted to stay relevant. And, everything takes big leaps now, in our industry. And to have someone like Penny come in, and she's brought an incredible team with her, a couple of incredible ladies. I'll let her share that, a little bit of that as well. Plus, we've got probably one of the best boards we've ever had in a long time. We've had incredible boards in the past. So, that's no negative to anybody in the past, because we're all built on their shoulders, right? We stand on their shoulders. But we have an incredible board right now, too, that we all have a vision. We think big, and we're big dreamers. And to have someone who can come in and align with that dream and help us drive that. And it's not just our dream, it's the dream of our clients. It's the dream of our young women who are participants of that. So it's a wonderful feeling right now. I'm pretty excited about it.
Now, moving forward as you kind of grow the organization, we talked a little bit about the sponsorships of the organization, but this WIT Connect event itself, are you looking right now for sponsors for that, or is that already filled up?
No, we are. So we actually kick off our big marketing campaign on Monday. We already have sold probably about 10% of the tables and the sponsorships, but no, we're looking for more. So we want anyone that is wanting to participate in this wonderful event, which is an evening on June the 20th. It's from 5 to 9 o'clock, where we actually have a dinner, and it's at the Georgia Aquarium, which is a beautiful, beautiful venue. Where you have top leaders that come in and they participate in this. But the key one thing that we also have, which is very interesting, is we have what we call an executive auction, where we have worked with some of the top C-suite leaders and with their employees, their direct leadership, where we are going to auction off time with whoever it is that bids on them. So we've got top leaders like Mike Manos, who is the CTO of First Data. Him and his SVPs, his direct leadership, are part of a package where if someone bids on them and they win the bid, they're able to spend quality one-on-one time with Mike and his leadership team, which I think is incredibly valuable and incredibly important. And what I think is phenomenal are these people are giving their time so that every money that is won here goes back to the program, and it allows us to continue to give back.
And then that auction is for it's CIOs, CTOs, it's C-suite level people in organizations around the city, right?
Exactly. And we also have some that are more VPs, but these are the ones that are top leaders, like in cybersecurity within their organizations, or leading the technology for their companies. And so they will have direct access to these wonderful, talented leaders that they can actually spend time with.
So the group you met with yesterday, the sales ladies, they may want to know about this.
That's right. I'm sure they will. And make sure that you all get connected. Now, last year, we had the pleasure of interviewing Rhonda Viteri. She was one of the keynote speakers, and she was just in town a month or so ago when she came by the studio here, and we got to interview her again. Do you have ideas of who the keynote, or is that under wraps still?
Still under wrap. We are still working through that.
That's going to be a tough one to beat. She was pretty inspirational.
Absolutely, she was. She was.
But that's the caliber of speaker you get.
Exactly. I mean, and we may actually change it up just a little bit this year because we do have a new leadership. We may want to focus more on getting people within the WIT community to actually do a lot of the keynotes for us. So we're really
spotlight local talent.
You got it. But also the one key thing that we really want to do is show everyone that comes what the dollars have done. We want to get past people that have gotten the scholarships and have them come speak, and we highlight them and show where they are today. So last year or 2 years ago, one of the scholarships went to a young woman, brilliant girl who went to Harvard. And we had her come back last year and present at the WIT Connect event what that scholarship did for her, what it meant for her, and where she is today. So that's one thing that we will absolutely do again this year, is that we want to repeat, is being able to show the generosity of these sponsors, how they have changed someone's lives.
Right, and that truly is life-changing stuff.
Yes.
Because some of these people may not even gone to college, right? It's just
exactly. So what's interesting though is I met two young ladies from a college that's not here in Atlanta, and they come from very poor backgrounds. They're in the technology career path within their college, and their mother didn't understand. She didn't understand why they were doing this. She did not support them. And so they had to pretty much pay for their college careers by themselves. And when they got those scholarships last year, they just wept and wept because they now have the opportunity to even do more, because now a lot of what they had to earn themselves was given to them by a generous sponsor. So it's amazing how much this touches their lives.
Right. And that's a great example of, you're trying to reach a group that is kind of underserved and doesn't have those supportive resources that so many people have in Atlanta, that you are giving these people a chance to really change the whole trajectory of their lives.
Absolutely. And the other thing that I have found, and I'm sure everyone knows this, but I'm going to say it anyways, that is also a challenge that we need to help overcome, is education to the parents. A lot of times these beautiful and wonderful and talented girls are not following careers in STEAM because the parents don't understand.
Right.
So think about it when you've got your grandchildren or you've got your children and you go to Walmart and you're walking down the aisles looking at all of the toys. You've got an aisle of nothing but pink, which is fine. But then you've got the aisle that's the boy aisle, and that's where all the building blocks are and all the robotic stuff is. And we had a tendency in the past not to let the girls, not let them, but we gravitated them more towards the Barbies and towards the girl toys.
We didn't encourage them to do the other things.
Exactly. And so what we want to do now is enlighten and educate some of the parents so that you understand. Let them do that. See what they do. See if they gravitate towards those building blocks, because that is our next generation woman leader.
And like Patty, you said that there's such a kind of a hunger for talent nowadays. You can't just exclude this portion of the population. It doesn't make any sense.
No. And, I think that the thing, too, so much of technology today, women do so well in it because it's just part of our nature. All those things that we have, the way we think, the way we're multitask, all the things that are just natural to what we do, we gravitate to BI. We gravitate to all the digital things because it's all the things that affect us every day, right? And so, companies that's why they support this. When you look at the big companies that have been year after year sponsors, they know that this is the people they need to attract, the young women, and they want to do everything they can. And we're just educating them on, and I think that's part of the road trip. It's more than you just giving us a check to sponsor, which we want and we love. But think about internships at your company. Think about, being able to give them a job. That's what they've not thought of. And now over the last year or so, we're really getting them to think about that now. And so they're very excited about it.
All right. So how can we help? What do you need more of?
This helps. So helping us get the word out. Yeah. Just like we talked about earlier, as you see guests come in here and you see a connection, let us know. But also continue having, these kind of sessions where we're talking about this. We need to bring a louder voice to the challenge. And forums like this and in partnership with WIT allows us to touch more people and influence more people and help more people. And I think it is a joint challenge between men and women, and we've got to figure out how we overcome this together. And your show and other marketing that is going on helps us to do that.
And if somebody wanted to learn more, what's the coordinates?
Go to our website, mywit.org. Also, we're on social media. We're on LinkedIn. We're on Facebook. But also reach out to me. I'm on LinkedIn, and I'm happy to talk to anybody.
All right. Penny Collins, CEO of Women in Technology. Thank you for being our guest today. And thank you, Patty, for being a board chair for a while.
Thank you.
Veteran, seasoned WIT super fan.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
So thank you both for sharing your story.
Thank you.
All right. This is Lee Cantor for Sanjay Torre. We will see you all next time on Atlanta Business Radio.